Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Move to Sioux Falls. I'm Albert Heising V, and we had Anthony Hollingsworth on, owner of Performance Builders LLC. He's the wilderness man. He moved to Kansas City and then moved back to Sioux Falls because it's way better, and he's building weatherproof homes with cutting-edge technology. Okay, cool. Okay, so did you just like saw something online and you're like, I'm just gonna go contact this guy and get on the channel, or what?
Pretty much.
Okay, cool.
Actually, I think it was, if I remember right, I think Brendan's. He posted something about being on.
Yeah, Brendan
So
Harbert's.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, at first in my head, I was like, oh, I don't know. He works with Julie. Maybe I shouldn't. And then I was like, you know what? This might be cool. Like, he's got a pretty cool construction business. So I was like, I should probably just say, yeah. I mean, you're an expert in the space.
See what happens.
Yeah. How long have you been doing the construction stuff? Like all your life, or?
No, I started a landscaping business in high school and did that for probably 12-ish years.
Okay.
And then I got burnout, I guess, on that, and then I got into construction.
You graduated and was like, I'll make bigger money doing construction.
I thought I could, but
yeah,
it's fun. I always enjoyed architecture and stuff, so
for sure.
Why not?
Good. Yeah.
So it's probably been 12-ish years now that I've been doing construction.
Yeah. Do you sub a lot of your stuff out or no? Is it hard to?
Yes and no. A lot. I mean, yes, but I'm still quite hands-on because the way I'm building stuff, I have to be
for sure
there to make sure everything's done a specific way.
Okay.
That is completely
good,
unfamiliar to everybody in this area.
We'll get into it. So yeah, for sure. Okay, so Anthony Hollingsworth, we have you from Performance Builders. Thank you for being on. So we're gonna go through some HitFire questions. So, favorite music band?
Music band?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm really not much of a music person. I don't even turn the radio on in my truck 99% of the time.
Okay, hates music. Moving on.
I don't hate music. I just not a big music person.
Okay.
I like country, but
okay, country. You got a favorite country artist or not really?
Not really.
Okay.
Carrie Underwood has a nice voice, but
hey, there we go. An American Idol star. Let's go with it.
All right.
There we go.
Good enough.
We're on Move to Sioux Falls, so we got to do something American.
There we go.
So, what would be your favorite spot in Sioux Falls? It could just be like, a place to get away, a place to work out.
I haven't been there in a couple years probably now, but the farmers market Saturday mornings is kind of fun to just go cruise around.
Yeah. So I challenge you in the next 2 weeks
to get
go
there.
To the farmers market now.
We actually talked about going this a couple days ago, this past Saturday, but it didn't happen.
You got to go. There's a spot and that like gives away not gives away, but you could pay for this honey, and I got this bourbon honey. It was like the best honey I ever tasted in my life. So if you go to the farmers market and you see the honey tent,
I gotta
go get the bourbon honey. And
okay.
he uses what is the pasta, like uncooked pasta, so that you could taste test each one.
Oh,
it's pretty cool. So yeah, you got to just try it out.
I'll remember that.
So
I'll tell my wife in the next couple weeks we gotta get down there.
Okay, so Sioux Falls is known for tons of restaurants, so we always bring this one up. But favorite restaurant?
Favorite, probably Carnival is always good, and McKenzie River is good too.
Yeah, my parents or in-laws they're big time farmers, and they have a slogan: "Eat meat like you mean it." And so that's Carnival like hits home with that stuff.
I don't need that. Just the meat. I mean,
Yeah,
that's good enough.
like
That's
I
where it's
skipped
at.
the salad bar. Like I ate at the salad bar the first time, and I like got told like, dude, rookie mistake. And then every time after that, I tell the next person who's new, rookie mistake. You just eat the meat
You got to skip that.
for sure. Cool. What was like one of your favorite things to do growing up?
Well, it's not really. I grew up in the country out
Yeah.
by Madison, and I guess I spent pretty much all of my spare time cutting down trees, tearing down buildings, having fires, bonfires. I mean,
Dude,
not like arson type
for sure.
fires,
Yeah,
but,
yeah, good.
good, clean, rugged fun, I guess.
Dude, wilderness, man. Like I love it. It's different, and I think more people need to be out in the wilderness. I think they say, on average, like children should have like 2 hours outside, and it's like 15 minutes a day that they get. So
If that,
yeah,
seems like.
let's promote that. I mean, I get if it's cold in South Dakota, you need to stay inside sometimes, but let's
Put another layer on.
yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I love it. Like love the attitude.
Or just move faster when you're out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Anthony Hollingsworth. Don't want to get the name wrong. Anthony Hollingsworth with Performance Builders LLC is here at the Move to Sioux Falls. We wouldn't call it a studio, but it's the 605 Lofts. It's the Washington. My wife and I run Sodex Days, which is a short-term rental property management company, and we get to go to different places with the Move to Sioux Falls episodes from the short-term rentals that we have. So I run Move to Sioux Falls. It's a real estate company that helps people buy and sell and invest in homes. But like the big thing is, it's not about the real estate transaction. It's about Sioux Falls as a community, and it's a vibrant place that's growing. And I kind of want to show that. So that's why I'm having you on. I appreciate you actually reached out to me. First guest to ever do that. So appreciate it, man. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Like I know we were talking off stage, like that you were from Madison, South Dakota. Kind of give us a little background, like where you started, how you got to Sioux Falls, that or the surrounding area. I know you gave me a little tidbit, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I grew up on an acreage farm just north of Madison, and in high school, my grandpa and I kind of got into mowing and landscaping together, and then after high school, I just branched out on my own and ran with that and did that for a dozen or so years. And basically, after high school, I got away from Madison. Just kind of Sioux Falls is the closest big place, more opportunity,
for sure.
type environment, without getting
Too far away.
real, very far. And so, anyways, I came to Sioux Falls and did landscaping for 12 years or so, and then ended up, I bought a landscaping company in Kansas City, moved down there for a few years. That was a horrible endeavor. I wish I never would have done that, but anyways, it was a good learning experience, if nothing else. Came back to Sioux Falls probably mainly for the kids' sake. My wife and I loved Kansas City, enjoyed being there, but we just felt Sioux Falls is a better environment for raising kids. So
for sure,
we came back, and that's when I started into construction, framing, and then building houses. And
that's awesome. And then you started your own construction
blossom
company
from there.
Okay. So kind of thinking about the whole Kansas City, Sioux Falls. I know you said the environment, right? What was the environment like in Kansas City opposed to Sioux Falls?
There's a lot of similarities. There's still places that feel small and
For sure.
Tighter knit community and smaller atmosphere type feel. And I mean, and there's a lot of family friendly stuff in Kansas City, but it's still a big city. There's still gangs. There's still high crime.
Yep, for sure.
That sort of thing. And it's getting. I mean, certain parts of Sioux Falls is getting worse, but you don't down there. You wouldn't leave your car unlocked for any reason anywhere.
For sure.
Sioux Falls. I mean, you probably shouldn't.
I forget
but
like
you still
half the
can.
time, man. I forget, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. It's Sioux Falls still,
You hope.
Yeah, you hope. Yeah, in that off chance, right?
Right.
So, and I think it's nice about Sioux Falls, like it's big enough where like you can have your privacy, but it's also like small enough that if I go, I'm a big East Sider. I think you're more like
Well,
south because of
yeah.
Harrisburg, right? But like I'm more a big East Sider. But if I go all the way to the west side of the city, I might see like 4 or 5 people I know, and I'm like, oh, I know these people in a city of 250,000. Like that's nice to know,
Mm-hmm.
So, um, what made you change from I'm doing landscaping into I'm doing construction? Because seriously, dude, I like cannot stand raking my leaves and like you know getting grass piles and all that stuff. So like, did you just get sick of doing the leaves and the grass, and you were like, all right, I got to build something with my
It,
hands?
it was just. It seems like, anyways, and I'm removed now for a dozen years. So I'm probably looking at it differently, I guess, or have a skewed perspective. But 15 years ago, it seemed like it was far more seasonal than it is now. Our
Yeah.
winters seemed like they were a lot longer and more harsh
Mm-hmm.
than what they are the last 10 years or
Oh,
so.
last year was a dream winter, man.
It
Well, we have
was,
like 13 inches of snow.
yep.
Normally, our average is like 30, so I'll take it.
The year before made up for it, though.
Oh yeah, we got pummeled 2 years ago. I don't want a winter like that again. Like, but that's all right. It,
That
it happens. Keeps the bad people away, right?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah. So it was more seasonal
It seems like it was more seasonal.
for
You
sure.
spent 6 months of the year training people to
Yeah,
patios and retaining walls and all the hardscaping stuff, and then by the time it seems like they knew what they were doing and you could let them be, then it's snowing, and then they're off to school or
for
whatever,
sure.
and then you start all over the next year. And
Yeah.
I just got burnt out, I guess.
Yeah. Don't you think, I'm a realtor. You're into building houses. Don't you feel like it's kind of like building a house is seasonal where you have to build at a certain time, or you're like yes and no?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I mean, you want to get, and not everybody does this, but I, anyways, want a foundation in before the ground's
For
froze.
sure.
I don't want to be digging through the frost. I don't want to be pouring a foundation when there's frost in the ground.
Yep.
I'd like to get foundation in, get it capped, and at least a structure up that you can start, putting temp heat or something
Yep.
to keep frost out of,
Yep.
your basement, or
For
if it's
sure.
slab on gray, whatever.
So how many houses do you usually build a year? And then my follow-up would be like, is there like a point of where you go, oh, it's November. I gotta like pour like 3 houses foundation so I can work through the winter, and then I'm good to keep pouring in the spring again. So first
Mm,
question is like how many houses, and then the pour question afterwards.
Well, so I'll answer it probably in reverse, because
Okay,
I don't,
okay,
that's not a worry, I guess,
okay,
because I only do a couple, 2 to 3 a year.
okay,
But they're highly specialized
okay,
in what I do,
cool.
the way I'm building them. So
And so then I could presume you're a custom home builder then.
yeah.
Yep. So you're not doing prefabs, which to the audience, a prefabricated home is where a construction company will build a bunch of houses. So they have all these different models. And then someone could either buy that prefab home or they could build the same exact home somewhere else on another lot. So do you usually have like your customer base, like hey, like I already have the customer before I'm building this house, or does it sometimes vary? Like you
It
might like
it
build
varies.
one. Okay.
Sometimes it's a custom. Sometimes it's what you would call a custom spec.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. To just see like how the market is and how they respond to it. Okay.
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Just more of a custom home, elements of a custom home,
Yep.
rather than a track home
For
kind
sure.
or cookie cutter
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
house.
Oh, dude, I hate this cookie cutter ones. Need something different, Um, that kind of leads me into like what are the things that you're doing different. I talked with a couple of different builders, and I think the only other home builder that would probably do what you're doing is probably Matt Roach. And so I kind of like want to understand like what makes your house different than all these other home builders that are like, you know, like an easy example could be like the window isn't sealed because you got to let water out if it gets in there, right? Like I know if you seal the window and there's no water getting in there, you need to make sure like you open those up at a certain period. So, um, but then like warranty kind of like isn't a factor anymore. But that window's gonna be good for like ever. So, so what are you doing different than most other builders?
So my primarily everything I'm building is to what's called the passive house standard, which
Okay.
is a far more airtight, super insulated. I mean, say over insulated, super insulated um, structure. The focus is on the building envelope,
Yep.
the structure itself, and implementing building science, so that to make sure that you're managing bulk water, water vapor, condensation,
Yep.
moisture, thermal bridging, all those scientific elements of a building. Make sure your building enclosure or your building envelope, which is the exterior
Yep.
shell, make sure that is built in such a way that it manages all those components. And in turn, you don't have rotting walls. You don't have significant heat loss,
Yep.
um, leaky windows, I'm not relying on siding as the layer that prevents water from getting into the building,
Yep.
where 99% of all houses that are built
Yeah.
are not watertight or weather tight until they get sided and the siding gets caulked.
For sure.
I mean, I've got one on the market right now that is completely weather tight long before siding ever went on.
So is that just a component of uh like technology, like kind of how technology has advanced, right? Like home buildings have advanced over the years. Like no one's switched yet to these like advanced home building. Like do you think in like 20 years like more people will be like this is the standard of like weather tight?
Yeah,
Okay.
to some extent. I
Okay.
mean, building codes around the world for that matter
For sure.
are going that direction, and even in the US
For sure.
some already are starting to move that. I mean, the Midwest,
We're stuck in our ways a little bit.
and we're behind the rest of the country, is
Yeah.
in terms of trends and all those sorts of things. But yeah, that is stuck in our ways.
Yeah. Hey, what I like about Sioux Falls and like what I heard from somebody else on the podcast is like Sioux Falls has a good balance of like conservative mindset versus progress mindset. And I feel like you're like one of the pioneers now who's like I'm the progress mindset balancing all the conservative mindsets behind me saying like, "Oh, you shouldn't do it that way." Do you kind of feel like that?
In this regard, yes.
Yeah, in
I mean, for
building.
sure, there's nobody else out there that's building like
For
this,
sure.
but it's I mean, it's also challenging too, because the consumer is completely oblivious.
Yeah, they're like,
or
why would I
unaware.
pay that much extra money for that? Yeah.
And you
Totally.
don't see 90% of it, you don't see when you go look at a house because everything's done. It's all covered
Yeah.
up. So you can't even see all those components
Yeah.
or elements,
For
you know.
sure. So I'm just thinking about this. Do I need a sump pump in one of your houses?
That would depend on
Okay.
the
Foundation pour?
on the land
Okay.
more so.
Gotcha. Yeah. But could you basically make it where I wouldn't need a sump pump if I wanted to?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Just really depends on the land.
If there's groundwater, you're going to have,
Okay.
you know,
Gotcha.
if you get one of those little veins, you know, a little spring when you're digging the basement or something, there's
Gotcha.
really nothing you can do about that.
Okay.
If you're on a walkout lot, you really should be able to build and grade it so that a sump pump is unnecessary.
Okay, cool. Good. Well, I feel like 90% of people who watch this, they go, "Oh, I don't need a sump pump in South Dakota. I'm going to use this guy." So,
No, that's not necessarily.
I mean, I feel like staying away from water in basements is huge. So,
Slab on grade.
yeah. Okay.
But I can build a house where you don't need a gas furnace
okay. Hey,
in South Dakota.
that's nice. Right? How many people do you think have gas furnaces? Like 99% of the people?
Probably
Yeah.
every house except for
Yeah.
the ones that I've built so far.
Yeah. So you use geothermal, I'm
No.
guessing. Okay, what do you use?
It kind of varies by project, but typically a mini split
Okay.
heat pump.
Yeah.
There's one on the wall right
Yeah.
behind
sure.
you there.
And those are just as effective.
When the house is built to the standard that I'm building, yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Because it's conserving all that like cold or hot air inside of it, the shell. Or
correct.
The exterior of
So
the
that
house.
the heating demand and the cooling demand is a third or a fourth of
Gotcha.
what it ordinarily would
Just
be.
don't leave the front door open the whole day.
Not recommended.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Might have a little time overcoming that once you close it.
For sure. Cool. How do you market to the audience, like to people who are wanting to buy a home? Are you like, hey, I'm with the Home Builders Association, I work with the realtors, like how are you trying to get people to know who you are?
All those things. I mean, Home Builders Association,
For sure.
social media,
Yeah.
website.
What's your social media, just so everyone knows it?
Performance Builders
at
Performance Builders LLC.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Good.
My daughter's going to school for marketing.
Okay.
So she kind of takes care of all of that
Good.
for me. But I'm pretty confident that's what it is.
Pro
that's what it
tip:
is.
if she ever needs help with some social media marketing, just send her over to me. I just got an intern for social media, and literally they told her nothing about Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, any of it. And I'm like, well, what did you just spend money on to go to college then for if it's not like social media marketing? Because that's like the big
That's
way
where
to
it's
get
at.
people. Yeah, I don't know. Dude, sometimes I think secondary or higher education is sometimes a sham or a scam, but
I won't disagree with you.
there's other things though, you know, like there's the networking part. Like I wouldn't know how to talk to you today. I just met you like 30 minutes ago, right? But I know how to say hi and I know how to like make a conversation instead of just be like be shy, you know?
Mhm.
So yeah. What would be the top 3 things that you would add to Sioux Falls if budget wasn't an issue? I mean, you watch Brendan's. You got to know I was going to ask this one.
A NASCAR track.
Okay.
A pro sports team.
Okay.
Would be nice.
Isn't NASCAR like a pro sports
It
team?
is,
okay. But you need the track.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most people consider a pro sport like football, basketball, hockey, baseball, one of those.
Okay.
They kind of leave NASCAR out of it, even though it is.
Dude, everyone wants a pro sports team. I don't know who we got to talk to, but
somebody with bigger pockets than me.
I mean, we all just got to get some deep pockets and hey,
Pool our money together.
just like Green Bay. Let's just do what Green Bay did. The whole city just pays for a sports team.
It could work. It did once.
It could happen again, man. So, okay, what was number 3?
I don't know if I have my wife loves to shop at Trader Joe's. Every time she goes through Omaha, she has to stop at Trader Joe's and get something, or outlet malls, I guess.
Okay.
She loves the outlets too.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be down for an outlet mall. Trader Joe's is fine. I mean, we just got a couple other things. You know, we got the Co-op, we got Pomegranate Market.
Yep.
You know, like we got
Similar
things. So I guess it's not.
Let's go with outlet malls then.
Okay,
or
let's
an
go
outlet
with outlet
mall, whatever you call it. Outlet.
Sorry, Anthony's wife, if you're watching this, we went with outlet malls instead of Trader Joe's. She'd probably be mad at us about that.
I think she'll be just fine with outlets too.
Gotcha. Cool. So, dude, we're gonna kind of wrap up, but like, what's something that you want to know about me? Like, you asked me to be on this thing, so I was like, man, he's got to ask me at least 1 or 2 questions.
Oh, you put me on the spot now,
dude. Always.
I really didn't know much about you or what you were doing, so I guess I thought it, be a good opportunity. You kind of already said what you do, so
for sure.
I guess I got that figured out now.
Yeah.
I mean, what brought you here?
What brought me to Sioux Falls? My wife. She lives from Inwood, Iowa. But I say my wife. That's the easy question, right? The more expanded question was like I was sick of moving around. I lived like 7 times. I lived in 7 different places in 1 year. And I was like, I am sick of moving. It was like college, then an internship, then I went back to home, and then I went to like my in-laws that weren't my in-laws at the time. It was kind of weird, actually. They like housed me for a little bit till I found a job here in Sioux Falls. But like I was just like traveling so much, and I told my wife, I was like, hey, if Sioux Falls is the place you want to be, like I don't want to travel anymore. I moved throughout my earlier years too. I went New Jersey, Vermont, Prince Edward Island. So I was just sick of moving. And I'm like, where's a great place to just settle down? And like Sioux Falls is it, man. Like it is awesome. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, but Anthony, I think we're going to wrap up. I really appreciate you being on, learning about the science behind homes. Like I think that's so cool. Like you talking about the shell and like how to keep like the weather out of it. I think more homes should be like it. I'm definitely if I'm in the area like to build, I'm gonna be like, Anthony, come build this house for me. Like I need a watertight shouse or something. Like come build something for me right away. So cool. Well,
sounds good.
Yeah, appreciate you on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, and yeah, I'm gonna get some hats, so I will send you a hat. It'll say "Move to Sioux Falls." It'll be like a mesh with a snapback and everything, and I'm gonna send it to all the past guests and the future guests and everything. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's how these go. So easy, right?
Yeah, piece of cake. I don't think I beat the table too much.
Yeah, you're good. No, you did it. You were good. Is this your first podcast?
Yeah.
YouTube episode?
Yep.
Dude, I'm glad.
Well, I guess I don't know. I don't think so. Me and Julie did a interview kind of thing one time that she said she was going to put on a YouTube channel. I don't know if it has or not.
Oh, gotcha.
So I guess I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We were talking about the house that I currently have that I finished this late spring, summer, early summer, I guess. We did a little interview thing.
I have that one like hearted. I like that one up north of town.
Do you?
Yeah, man.
I need to get rid of that thing.
Yeah. I wish I could buy it. I gotta make some more money. This one out here.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
This thing's awesome. It's sweet. Yeah, I have it hearted, so I just like the look of it and the style and everything. Man.
That house has been costing about $24 a month in utilities over the summer.
Oh, nice. That's not bad. That's pretty good. $24 in
That's
utilities.
cheap.
Dude.
4,000 square feet.
Yeah, it's 4,000 square feet, $24 in utilities. But I mean, the price tag of 1.2 million. That's kind of hard to
Wow.
find the right buyer for that.
They're out there.
I don't know. I just was on TikTok and I followed you and I saw the European flag doors. I'm like, gotta get me one of those.
Those are they are the
Yeah.
best ever.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
nice.
So what are some of the things that actually make the house weather tight?
Well, typically I mean, it all obviously comes down to budget and there's different products, but on the exterior, like Tyvek, every house has Tyvek or an equivalent of Tyvek on there.
Yep.
I get the products that I use are from imported from Germany. They all have they're all tested for 100+ year adhesion, like all the flashing tapes and all that stuff. Where I mean, there's nothing domestically that has that kind of testing performance. So they're just, I mean, they're a longer longevity product and they're a more durable product. So that's one thing. And then when I draw, or I don't draw the plans, but when I have a plan drawn, the philosophy is, so there's an air control layer, there's a water control layer, and there's a vapor control layer, because we have exterior bulk water, rain, snow, whatever.
Yeah.
Air, just because in order to get that kind of efficiency, it needs to be airtight. So you need to stop outside air from getting into the building.
For sure.
And then vapor control, because we have in the Midwest or South Dakota especially, we're one of those great climates where we get vapor drive all year round.
Yeah.
Just half of the year is from one direction and the other half of the year is from the other direction. So there's always vapor getting into our walls, and that needs to get out so that the wall can dry. That's why walls rot all the time, because when people build a house, they don't think about that vapor drive and how does this wall dry when it gets wet, because it's going to get wet. That's just inevitable. So on a house plan, I should be able to take a pencil and draw a line, one continuous line without interruption, all the way around that, underneath the, all the way up, all the way around the entire thing, one continuous line, and that for each one of those control layers. So that keeps, so then I have an airtight structure because I have one continuous air control layer all the way around. Now it can be different products, on the wall versus on the roof versus under the slab. It's like, concrete is airtight by nature. So the concrete foundation itself is an air barrier in that portion of the house. But if I don't connect the wall, the wood wall, to the concrete frame or to the concrete floor with something, then I don't have continuity.
You break that line.
Right.
Yeah.
I break that line. I lose the continuity.
For sure.
So, and all three of those control layers need to be that way. And then good windows and doors, and windows, European windows.
Do you seal your windows?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that completes my
the line.
So the building, the walls themselves, and everything's airtight. And then where I have a hole in the wall, I put a window in there, But that window, if it doesn't get sealed to the wall, then I don't have that continuity.
Yeah.
So when I use, not always, but I prefer to use European windows because they're a far better window than anything
Yeah.
domestic made. But European windows don't have a nailing flange like American windows do. So you can put it inside the hole
Oh.
and you can place it anywhere you want. It doesn't have to be all the way on the outside like our windows are. It could be all the way to the inside. It could be in the center. It could be, and I prefer to put it in the center because that is thermally the most efficient place for a window is in the center of the wall.
America just does weird stuff, doesn't it? Don't
Well,
they?
we've had cheap energy
Yeah.
for a long time,
Yeah.
and so they haven't needed to care
Yeah.
about
true.
utility costs, energy costs. So they haven't. And I mean, America is a far more wasteful country than most other countries too, you know? I mean, we throw everything away.
Yeah. True.
I mean, there's lots of other countries that they limit the amount of trash
Oh yeah, dude.
you can produce in a week or a month.
When
or
I lived in
whatever.
Canada, they'd be like, if something was in the compost that was supposed to be in the recycling or the trash, they would like the garbage man would come out and knock on your door and be like, "Hey, you have to like take this and change it all up, and we'll come back later." It's crazy.
And the quantity of it too. You can't. I mean,
yeah,
they limit the
agreed.
quantity.
Yeah, which is great. So, cuts down on I feel like obesity too. Like you can't eat so much and you can't use so much. And
there's definitely benefits.
yeah, for sure.
There's pros and cons to everything, though. I mean, really, at the end of the day,
Dude, there's a lot of pros. I feel like you can keep your house utility bill down. You could, have a balanced diet and like, not as much wasted trash. Like those are a lot of pros right there.
you'd be a far healthier grocery bill. Would be
Efficiency
far
for
less.
energy. Like I feel like our economy. Like think about it. Our economy would work better if we were efficiently using our energy.
In some regards,
Yeah.
the medical industry would be lacking.
Oh
Though,
yeah.
if everybody was healthier.
I mean, that's why big pharma makes money still. They give you pills to makes you have side effects to
Right.
get more pills. So cool.
It's a vicious circle.
Oh, dude, so vicious. So buy one of your homes. Get out of the circle is what we'll say.
Get out to Garrettson and get an acreage.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
The house that you built in our parents, and I was just also looking at that just now. That's incredible.
It's so nice.
Yep.
Okay, it's beautiful.
That's where you saw that patio door.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just went through and like everything. So.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a beautiful
For
house.
sure.
Turned out phenomenal. And I mean that,
Dude, if I could buy it, I would. Just so you know.
I think there's a lot in that category that but somebody will.
Somebody
It just
will.
hasn't-
There's a
hasn't
lot
yet.
of people out there. Yeah. So if you like this video, don't subscribe. Seriously, we have enough subscribers already. Give the video a like and watch some past videos, but don't subscribe.